Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today we're going to try to paint something, but this is my third attempt at the Watercolor Wednesday video, and I've changed tack every time, and it just has not, it has not turned out the way I have hoped, and maybe at the end of this video I'll show you my 2 failed attempts. But I decided I was going to change tack. My original 2 ideas were going to be drawing, no drawing, watercolor, easy breezy, but they just didn't turn out very well. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do something completely different. I'm going to draw with a watercolor crayon so I can dilute it, and that's what we're gonna do. So I'm drawing this little kind of cube, a little vase. It's like a little medicine bottle style vase. So I'm kind of like drawing a cube. So you draw a cube, you know, like you do when you're doodling at on a placemat at the restaurant or on your notebook when you were in high school. You just draw that cube. Just want to get a basic shape in there. And luckily we can dilute this when we go to paint. Just want to get the basic shape in there. I'll share a reference photo and then you can go ahead and trace it if you want to. It's fine with me. Okay, I'm not going to draw in the flowers because that's going to be not too difficult. And I'm just going to start by diluting the pigment here. These are the Dina Wakley scribble sticks, and the reason they're on my table is because of the hot mess I made earlier on the first attempt. It was a different bouquet that we were going to do for Watercolor Wednesday, and I pulled those out kind of thinking, you know, it was kind of a Hail Mary, trying to fix that one. It did not go well, unless I look at it tomorrow and I think it looks alright. I don't know. Anyway, I wasn't happy with it, and I thought, well, maybe I'll give these a try though, because I have them and I don't really use them that much, so I really should give them a try. Alright, so just reshaping it a little bit. This is a clear vase, so that's why I didn't use too much pigment there. I'm going to take a little bit of cobalt teal. This is the paint from Paul Rubens. It is the floral collection. It comes in tubes and you have to put it in a palette. I put it in my old Paul Rubens palette and I moved those paints into something else because the pans that I had left over would not fit into the palette that I wanted to put these into. I'm going to take some burnt sienna. Oh, by the way, they use different names for the colors in this set, so, and some ultramarine blue. So they are probably, you know, I mean, I'm referring to them as like the Western names that if you're painting at home, you probably have these colors versus the names that they give the paints, because I figured, you know, you're not all going to have these paints, but you're probably going to have something, and go by the more common names. I've had a very productive week, actually. So, you know, I think today's experience is karma, just put me in my place a little bit. I am going to clean my brush. The brushes I'm using are the Zen Art Supplies watercolor brushes. I picked up on Amazon a couple months ago. They're very affordable, good quality, synthetic squirrel. There's a set of 5, and I think they're around $25, but there's been a coupon for like $5 off, so for like 20 bucks you get a 10 round, an 8 round, a 3/4 inch flat, and a 3/4 inch cat's tongue, which is actually, that's what I bought it for because I really like those types of brushes, and I didn't have one that big, and a number 8 flat, which is about a 1/2 inch. So really useful stuff, really useful brushes, and so far I've been using them and really enjoying them. I'm doing the cobalt teal and the ultramarine blue, adding a little bit of that to the bottom. I like to let it kind of spill out onto the table. The paper I'm using is just a Strathmore greeting card. I originally was working on the Paul Rubens hot press block, but I've got a hot mess painting on there right now. I'm wondering if I might go in there and try to fix it so it's still on the block, so that's why I'm using a greeting card. Plus I figured the less fussy it is, the better at this stage in the game. I'm working wet on dry, which means I'm using quite a bit of water, but I didn't pre-wet my paper. I think I want a little yellow ochre in here. This is delicate. This is kind of what I was after. Sometimes, gosh, sometimes it takes you a while to get your groove going, you know? I wanted a delicate feeling to this week's project. I just wanted something soft and nice. You know, is that too much to ask? I want something soft and nice. And easy breezy, because it's summer. At least it's supposed to be. It doesn't feel like summer, but it's, as far as the calendar is concerned, it's summer. And I just wanted something just nice and easy. This edge is a little blurry, so I'm just not even going to bother with that right now. I'll let it be, and I can go back in later, and I can fix that. So I'm going to take that number 8 round. I'm going to take a couple colors here. I'm going to take it's kind of a gamboge yellow, any warm yellow, and I'm going to grab this Hooker's green. It's a single pigment green, but it's a little harsh. It's very strong. I'm going to water it down quite a bit because I'm trying to keep this as a delicate painting. Well, I'm scraping off the extra water, but I still have quite a full loaded brush here. And what I thought was really interesting with this is there's oh, that's really yellow. There's like a bent over flower, and I thought that was really kind of pretty, even though it's like kind of sad that that flower got broken, but it's still kind of pretty design-wise. A little more green in there. These brushes have a really nice point on them. And a pretty fat belly, so you can like bring quite a bit of water. It's not as much, it doesn't hold as much paint as, say, the Mimics from Creative Mark. So I mean, these are more like the faux squirrel brushes you would get from like Hobby Lobby. The Master's Touch has like they have a faux squirrel version that's very similar to this. I don't think they have that cat's tongue shape though. But I would say the number 8 round, their number 8 round and this number 8 round is pretty much spot on to each other. I like brushes where I can do those nice petals like that. Okay, I'm waiting a bit before I put stems in the vase, but I do want to put a little color in there anyway. Oh, I feel much more relaxed. This is kind of what I was going for. I'll have to show you my hot mess examples afterwards. You can let me know if they're as bad as I think they are. I'm going to do some lavender color. I haven't used a pink yet, so let's do this violet. And there's also this interesting color that's in the Paul Rubens set. It's kind of weird. I thought when I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should even put this in a pan. I don't know if I'll ever use it. It's such an opaque lilac or lavender color. But I think actually would work really well for this. So I'm going to add that with a little bit of that pink. And I'm going to do my little lavender. Imagine how good that would smell. And just look, I'm just like flicking, just very gently making little lines grouped together on my paper. I love little wildflower bouquets. They're so summery. And you can really fill up your space as much as you want. I recommend putting in the, I mean, you can have some stems to kind of figure out where you want to put things, but you can always add more stems later, so go ahead and put the flowers where you want them to be. Now this painting has a white carnation, but my background on my paper is white, so I'm not going to do white. I think I'll water this down and maybe do a really pale, or maybe do that like that pinkier color, super pale. I think that would look good. And I think I might do some just little spatters of color in here just to kind of get a little more movement because this is a little stiff. I like that though, it's pretty. Okay, before I spatter though, let's take the flat brush, make sure it's clean. And I'm just going to get like a edge of it in that pink. Hopefully my brush is wet enough. My brush is pretty wet. Hopefully it's wet enough. I think so. And I am just going to make my carnation kind of like this, kind of just wiggle my brush. See, you don't need very much paint because, you know, I want it to be light. Yeah, that's really about all I want to do to that. I want to keep it easy today, guys. That was my goal. My goal was just to have a nice painting time, nice easy painting time. It's not too much to ask. I don't think it is. So now I'm going to sneak that. I should have waited and put my little leaves in afterwards, because now I've got to figure out how to fit that in there. That'll work. Maybe put a couple more leaves in there though, so it's not so... This does not look like it's the bottom of that carnation though. I don't like how that's coming out. I'm going to see if I can lift that off, because that's bugging me. Let's see. I think we might be able to. Either that, I'll be starting this video again, or I'll take a nap, one or the other. I don't think I have time to start this video again. There we go. You know what? There we go. Let's let that dry a little bit. Then we'll go back in and paint that hip area. Let me see if I can lift that off while I'm at it. These are the Strathmore greeting cards. Did I say that? Did I mention that already? Those are pretty nice because they're pretty inexpensive. Although they're more expensive than they used to be, I'll tell you that. They used to be quite a bit less. I used to pay about 20 bucks for a pack of 100, and now they're like 40. I wonder if this is... Oh, I wonder if this is like a... Let's make that a carnation bud. I don't know if that's what it is or not, but it's kind of got that shape like it could be. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to add some like... some pink in there, and then it can look like it might be a carnation bud. All right, now let's take a look at our carnation up there and see if we can fix the hip area. Let me get a little bit of that cobalt teal. I think that could add a little opacity to my green. I think that might help. Okay, so that's the center of the flower. Let's just figure out where the stem would be. I think that's a little bit better. All right. And then maybe add a little bit more pink. Add a few more little full petals so that we've got a little bit more shape to it. I do think that like getting yourself into trouble when you're painting can cause you to create some nice solutions. I wonder if I can scrub out that leaf. I wish I hadn't put that leaf on there. Oh, it's coming out. Go in and paint that in again after. So we'll wait until that to dry. Let's do some of the stems inside the vase. So we're not going to really see, we'll see it kind of here in the neck. And might have like a couple little strands there. I don't want to overdo it. And now I want to make some gray. I'm going to go back to the burnt sienna and ultramarine blue, which we haven't used that much, but we did use it to start off with, so I know it's fine to go back to. Temper it down. I've got a little bit lighter mix there. I can lighten that, and then I'm going to put some of the details. That's a little dark actually. Yeah, I just want to have a lighter look to today's piece. So hopefully I was able to achieve that. Just want to get those lost and found edges. I don't want to put every little detail in, especially since I'm not 100% sure that my drawing is totally accurate of the bottle. I do like to add a little shadow on the bottom for some visual weight though. And maybe just a little in the neck of the bottle, dig out a little hole. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to this. Maybe even add a little bit of ultramarine blue in there to tone down, clean off my cobalt teal. This is like making chili here. I'm just like adding a little bit of this and a little bit of that, whatever I've left over, whatever I need to clean up. It's the chili method of painting. I'll just make sure my stems go into the hole here of the vase. Now I'm going to add a few more little leaves around because I had to take a bunch out because poor planning. And we'll just throw in, ooh, that's a pretty color, I like that. I'm kind of thinking now I want that leaf on top of the flower. I'm going to put the leaf back on top of the flower again. After I went through all that to scrub it out, I decided I want it back on top of the flower again. Oh boy, classic Lindsay. Turn that paper around, make it so it works for you. Maybe do a little petal on the ground. Not exactly sure what these petals are coming from, probably the carnations, I guess. Oh, that's kind of nice. Maybe one more right over here. Yeah, I like these brushes come to a nice point. Now I'm just seeing, do I want a little more color anywhere? I do love to have some color. I do love that tealy color, so I might just kind of sneak a little bit more of that. One of my things I'm trying to do is work with a little bit lighter of a hand sometimes, you know, just kind of embrace my delicate side. I have no problem getting dark. I have no problem going dark with my values, but I do sometimes have a hard time keeping it light. And I think it's good to paint your opposite sometimes, just to kind of make sure that you are using your tools to their greatest potential. I don't like to get stuck in ruts. And I'm going to go back in with that flat brush and just probably regret it, but I'm going to just throw in a couple more little, yeah, you know what, and do that with a round brush actually. I just want just a few little petal edges. You could do this with a watercolor pencil if your paper is still wet. Just going to go in and catch some of the edges I really like the looks of and accent them. And you know what I think I'm also going to do? I like to add a little bit of colors, unexpected colors, so especially on glass because you'd have reflections, so I'm going to add a little bit of pink in there just to get those reflections going. There we go, and there we have it. A quick and easy watercolor greeting card of a little bouquet. Took longer than I expected. Oh, you want to see the hot messes? This was attempt number 2. That was the one I filmed before this, and I was like, no, that was my no drawing hummingbird that we're going to do, and I just, it wasn't happening. And then this was the really frustrating first piece that I probably spent a half an hour on before I gave up the ghost. And yeah, there's that. So I think the third attempt was the best. You can let me know what you think in the comments below. You can tell me what attempt you liked best. But I would not be ashamed to send this to somebody in the mail. Who are the other ones? I don't know. I might, then again, I might look at it tomorrow when I'm not feeling frustrated and be like, oh, that's fine. What was I so worried about? Maybe I'll even save the footage in case I want to do something with it later. But there's that. Thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up before you go. And until next time, happy crafting.